advertisements. I think Eat Fresh is a great slogan. They managed to convince an entire continent, if not the globe, that eating a foot of bread was somehow good for you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Endless here. Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Yavin Based Team League. Well, we've got a very special game for everybody tonight. We've got the match point of the series between LouisVuiTaunTaun and the basic Bespin Biths. And no one else in our air but the world champion wielding Iden ISF. The meta boogeyman. Or boogie woman? Boogie creature? I don't know. Anywho, it's Iden ISF. It's really nasty. A lot of aims, a lot of death. It's going up against a rebel list that we haven't seen lately, Cassian Tauntauns. And it's going to be making this matchup happen on Bespin City Gardens, if I'm not mistaken. This is the new Bespin map created by, I believe it was Ellis. Featuring these awesome statues in the middle. Really nice focal point artistically. But let's talk about the lists that these two players are playing tonight. Let's look at them in specific. So we're going to flip over here to Loot Cook. Coming to us from the basic Bespin Biths, playing Iden Versio, just very bare bones. Offensive push, situational awareness, and ID 10 for a cool 106-point commander who will be in charge of 3 units of shore troopers with T-21Bs, all 3 with recon intel, 3 DF-90 mortars, and 3 Imperial Special Forces units with T-21s with that critical 2 and offensive push, combined with Iden's tactical strike, making them absolute beasts. Just dealing a ton of critical damage, able to convert a bunch of additional results, and if they catch you out of cover, they can even just make raw hits, so things can get mighty problematic for you if they manage to get you out of cover. We see Loot Cook here piling his shores together. We see Iden deploying. Will she infiltrate? It does appear that she is infiltrating. Getting that very pushed up position there. The objective is breakthrough, of course. So DrHUGE starting with a small advantage by being blue on breakthrough, but I'm sure that will be quickly changing here because of the potential that all of these Imperial units have to just delete things on the other side of the board. Luke being extremely aggressive here, just getting in his opponent's face with all his stuff. Extremely confident. No respect for the Tauntauns at all. And I can't blame him. I think if the Tauntauns do get discovered, they will be in for a world of pain. And DrHUGE, recognizing that, has very cautiously deployed his Tauntauns back here. He's got to be careful of that ISF Alpha Strike, and we see DrHUGE has taken a risk here, pushing scout units, or units of Rebel Commando strike teams up the board to try to close off an infiltration zone to protect his Tauntauns. But then, of course, what happens to the strike teams? It's really bad when you lose strike teams in a list like his, because that destroys your activation padding. Let's take a look directly at the list being run by DrHUGE. Oops, one moment, please. Alright, I'm back, folks. My apologies for that interruption. But I was saying that the Tauntauns have to be protected from the ISF Alpha Strike, and the strike teams here have deployed to prevent infiltration. But that means, of course, they are now vulnerable. I could easily see a move in swing cohesion to try to get that second miniature inside, at least of this red squad. So some challenges here for DrHUGE, and he also does not have Leia in his list to try to get those extra moves that could juke the Alpha Strike at the top of the turn. It is possible that you can use things like No Time for Sorrows to do free moves and orders to those vulnerable units and then pull them back. That's always a possibility. Let's run down DrHUGE's list representing LouisVuiTaunTaun and the Rebel Alliance. Running Cassian Andor with all the goodies: Hunter, Offensive Push, and Recon Intel, loading out Overwatch and Situational Awareness, so all the good upgrades there. And, of course, we cannot forget the A280 CFE configuration, which is his rifle, the really deadly sniper rifle that he likes to wield. K2SO with just the blaster today. R2D2 and C3PO being their wonderful selves, giving extra tokens out, being secret mission, doing all kinds of good stuff. 3 units of Rebel Troopers naked, the infamous core tax, but it's also activation padding 4. 3 units of Tauntauns with tenacity, and of course, as I mentioned, 3 commando strike teams for a cool 12 activations with a 12-point bid. So a very thin list, high activation count though. Let's see if DrHUGE can use that to his advantage here against ISF. It's going to be one heck of a game. So deployment continues apace here. We're coming down to the end of it. Still have 1 unit of Tauntauns. Cassian has not chosen his loadout just yet. Very curious to see what the play will be here, whether he goes for the Overwatch Sentinel in lieu of Hunter. There really aren't that many targets to use Hunter against. Well, I guess mortars are like the big one. Hunter versus a mortar could be really handy in upping the activation differential. Iden list with 10 activations, the Rebel list, Cassian with 12. So the Rebel's already with a small advantage going last. We see an ISF unit infiltrating on the far side here. So Luke Cook taking a slightly less aggressive posture, tempering his aggression here, but still controlling a huge amount of the board with this Recon Intel plus infiltration, drawing the battle line very close to the deployment zone of DrHUGE, and also creating a perimeter that R2D2 and C3PO will be hard-pressed to break through. Those of you who know Luke Cook, he is the current world champion. He also has a YouTube channel called No Disintegrations where he broke down this list and talked about the strategies involved and the ranges involved. Oh, it looks like he might be considering a different move. He needs to stay in range 3 of Iden to get Tactical Strike ordered to these Special Forces units. Looks like an Infiltrate plus a Scout move from Recon Intel. Or he might have thought better of it. Okay. Being a little bit indecisive here as the world champion, but that's okay. He's just trying to feel out all of his options. Tauntauns, though, I wouldn't say they're cowering back here, but they might be cowering a little bit. Basically, once Tactical Strike goes off, a lot of tension will be released, and hopefully there's enough of the Rebel army remaining that DrHUGE still has a chance. But this is the way that the Empire is doing it nowadays, just big Alpha Strike. Alpha Strike seems to be an increasing trend between ISF take that clankers with 3 orders from 5s, Mandalorians with jetpack rockets, like triple Mandos with jetpacks, plus Cassian or Leia for that big shots early. Just trying to do more damage. We see more Tauntauns here. Getting that range ruler out, trying to make sure they are not in range to be hit by tactical strike. None of these Tauntauns, by the way, having uplinks at all. So I'm very curious how DrHUGE is going to get order control. Presuming that he took all 3 of Cassian's command cards, he'll have Assault for 1 turn, and then he'll have to start leaving it up to chance. There's no order replication of any type in this Rebel list. A lot of folks coming out and rooting for Ryan, the Undertawns. We see the fans. We see Doc Velo, of course, one of their leading strategists and architect of the Evergreen Benefit League in the chat, a member of the LouisVuiTaunTaun's. Luke's YouTube channel is called No Disintegrations, Spike Spiegel. Speaking of YouTubes, by the way, if you're watching this live, you're probably not also watching the 5th Trooper King of the Hill that's going on right now. I really would suggest that you check those out. That series is really fun. They've recently moved on to TTS due to increasing concerns about COVID. But they were playing live for a while there. They have some really cool live streamed games, so check them out, 5th Trooper YouTube. And of course, always let's talk about the 5thtrooper.com, who is the sponsor of this tournament. The #1 sponsor of this tournament. Don't you tell me how to live. What's up, Talk Polite? How's it going? I see Gateway in the chat. So, wow, so like the whole LouisVuiTaunTaun team is like in the house almost. We're only missing his Bodicus, who I'm sure will show up later. We're also missing Greg, but Greg might be he might be elsewhere. He might be piloting a plane at this rate. He almost, oh man, he almost got away with running double airspeeder in this league. It was amazing. I really was rooting for him, but that greedy double shot got the better of him. Airspeeders are just the most like unforgiving unit in the game, I swear. They punish every mistake. Alright, so pink ISF went down next to Iden behind the pillars here. Black ISF coming into the middle. Basically hidden from everything. So both players are trying their best to start off hidden. But I am deeply concerned for the lives of these snipers on the side here. They're just, their T-21 is staring at them, and a mortar as well. So things could get pretty hairy pretty quickly here. And actually Luke might just do the strike and fade, where he blows up one rebel strike team and then just runs away. And then all he really has to do is defend against Secret Mission. Oh, Cassian, what is this? What is this crazy play from Cassian? This is wild. Not what I expected at all. An infiltrate from Cassian and perhaps a detachment from K2? Wow, that's really cool. And actually, this makes a lot of sense. There's a huge line of sight blocker available for him to just get in the deployment zone, and Luke is deployed forward. Very much so, and actually he has to put Cassian down now despite having 12 drops, because he has to put Cassian on before K2. The rules do say that detachment units have to deploy before the thing that's being detached. So you have to deploy Cassian before K2. You must absolutely do that. He doesn't want to reveal R2-D2's position until the 12th drop, so this pushes Cassian into the 10th drop. So Cassian Infiltrate will not be on complete information. There is one squad of ISF hanging that he'll have to account for in his infiltration. You sent Greg to the gulag for losing that game. Oh man, that's rough. Is this Rebel 333 versus Imp 333? Yes, it is. What's up, Deco Puma? Welcome Nerfly as well to the stream. And what's up, Daniel? Yeah, it's wild. This is a wild play. I did not expect this, but hey, you know, if you feel like the odds are against you, this reminds me of people in StarCraft who, knowing that their opponent is really, really good, don't want to play a long game. Oh man, so he's swapping out Hunter. Is he going to swap out O-Push? No, he's actually going to leave Overwatch in the tank. He swapped Hunter for situational awareness, taps O-Push, does the recon maneuver, so it gives him 2 aims from the jump. Did he stay in sniper configuration? I'm not sure. I guess he did stay in sniper config. So who is he aiming for with the shot? I'm really curious. He can see mortars. He's just got to be careful. It's also going to pull some units back away from the deployment zone. I mean, yeah, I almost would have just hidden Cassian back here. I wouldn't have deployed him in sight. Maybe I would have just hit him and then tried to wait it out. Because then, like, if my Tauntauns are pressuring from the front side, if they come around the wide, you know, the wide, or this wide path and pressure this panhandle, and then you have Cassian pressuring the far side, this is going to cause Luke's army to be pulled in 2 directions. But let me finish my point. If you're up against a player who's in superior skill, you don't want the game to go on long, because if the game continues to go on longer, that means that opponent's advantage becomes greater and greater the longer the game goes. And so you're going to try to pull a risky strategy and try to find an ending to the game quickly, because you know that the longer the game continues, the more your opponent's advantage accrues, the greater the edge you give to the more experienced player. Yeah, you can always deploy your ISF as usual. It's not you're not forced to infiltrate. That's absolutely correct. The question is, though, do they really want to be that close to Cassian and K2, especially with K2, that awesome pistol? Because now that Cassian's infiltrated, detachment has no range restriction. Okay, Luke is going to go ahead and deploy his ISF pretty safely, about what you'd expect. It doesn't really change his plan, but that's smart. Sticking to his game plan is the world champ. And doing some measurements here. Trying to see how tough it would be to just bomb Cassian immediately. In fact, all three of these ISF squads might just tactical strike, turn around, and blow Cassian away. It would not surprise me. And plus, if Cassian wants to shoot with Crackshot and the sniper rifle, he cannot move. But I just don't think Cassian can stay here exposed. All these squads with Tac Strike, it's going to be very simple just to turn around and kill Cassian before the Tauntauns can even connect. So this might just be a case of a... what do you call it? I wouldn't call it a turn 0 error necessarily. I'm trying to get Luke to put his bases flat on the border closer. That'll do. That's definitely less than 45 there. Alright, so I think Cassian is in serious danger. I was expecting him to infiltrate behind the line of sight blocker and then wait it out, and then just dive on the last turn. Because that would have been a lot more interesting, but Cassian deploying in sight, I mean, if he shoots, he just gets killed. So that's a problem. I mean, there's not really much more to say. The Tauntauns are definitely out of range to connect on turn 1. Wild. Just wild. But Luke Cook doing a good job of controlling the middle here. And that's really important. Controlling the middle, especially in an army that's very resistant to damage, relatively speaking. Like if you think of armies as a gradient with droids on the far side of not resisting damage, and clones on the far other extreme of high damage resistance, I would give Empire like, you know, on the high side of the center. And K2 detaching forward, wow. Okay, so some aggression to be expected here. And K2, yeah, K2, no uplink. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Wow. Okay, unexpected, but thank you. Appreciate very much. Daniel with the 60 bucks for Tiltify. Go, Daniel. Awesome. Let me unhide the progress bar. Hold on. Dude, seriously, thank you. You talk polite with the Simpsons meme. I'm in danger. Go butt research. Right. Figure out the inner workings of the human anatomy there to fight prostate cancer. But I think, as Doc mentioned the other day on our air, this is a really good time for research projects, since there are less folks coming in to see people like him. But yeah, huge thank you, Daniel, for that 60. We see R2 and 3PO coming in now. Oh man, this does not feel great. That's the thing about ISF with Shores. There's just so much heat coming off this list at the start of the game. So how do you turn the temperature down if you're a rebel? Okay, going back here. Oh man, R2 and 3PO might just be token bots this game. I don't know if they're actually going to get to the enemy deployment zone deploying back there unless he brought Blast Off. I mean, maybe he did, but if he did bring Blast Off, there's no 1-pip for the Tauntauns. Ugh. So how do these Tauns expect to win priority? It's a big question. But you know, I bet you DrHUGE has an answer. I bet you he does. Alright, deployment is concluded. Both sides counting up their tokens. Trying to make sure they're all accounted for before we drop those first command cards here. Battle of the Covert Operatives, Iden and Cassian both released in the same wave. Both of them with the Covert Ops keyword, allowing them to change their rank from Commander to Operative. Yeah, it did say it might be quick. That is true. I mean, it would be cool to bait Tactical Strike and then just walk Cassian away. Like that would actually be pretty smart. I like that call actually. If it's just a bait. But like if you're Luke Cook, what else do you do? I mean, many of these positionings might just be baits because the Tauntauns, which are the real villains here, they're just waiting to strike. They're trying to figure out where Luke Cook is going to go, and then they're going to try to strike. So this is actually a what Tauntauns do. It's called a beta strike. Okay, it is Crackshot versus ISF. Oh man, he is going to try to shoot with Cassian. If Cassian does survive, Last Stand would be epic with situational awareness. We're talking like possibly 6 tokens between teamwork and the 3 token max. Yeah, ISF drops on all the usual suspects. Or sorry, Tactical Strike drops on all the usual suspects. Operative Iden and 3 special forces. They get their reliable surges, and then the action is on the rebel player, and it's doubtless going to be Cassian. Cassian doing some shooting. Dodging and shooting, okay. Yeah, K2 Calculate can also put another dodge on Cassian, but will it be enough to survive the wrath of 3 Alpha Striking ISF squads and Iden? Well, if you reduce the ISF numbers immediately, maybe you'll get somewhere. So I definitely think he'll put this into both sets of ISF. Getting blank hit on that first rollout there is going to need to spend 3 aims to make that 2 crits. I wonder if he just spends the 1 here and then saves 2 for the second shot, hoping he gets hit. I'd be tempted to just spend the 1. While they decide what to do with these dice results, I'll go ahead and get the timer rolling. Okay, so it looks like all 3 aims were blown, and the double save means only 1 dies anyway. So probably better to just spend the 1 to get the crit, and then spend the other 2 on the second shot. I think it averages out. He's going for the black ISF since he can see more in that unit. Cannot see the T-21 alone. But if he does shift that unit leader, that could help a little bit. Oh, going for purple. Okay. Purple Shores makes sense as well because it denies an action. I do wonder what he's going to end up shooting here with a second. Okay, going for a mortar. That's fine too. Getting up on activations, always a good idea on breakthrough. Killing full activations, generally good idea, period. And this is exactly why I was feeling you would save that double crit. I guess the decision to shoot the mortar might have been predicated on the fact that hits still work through light cover here. Cassian does not have any sharpshooter, and without aims, his marksman is useless. Taking the standby after crackshot, important here. But if he had Overwatch, he could actually just move away. Oh, so maybe Overwatch was the play here. Because if you're going to take that standby, Overwatch lets you duck out at range 3, but without range 3 from standby, you're kind of screwed. But DrHUGE opening my eyes to some things with Cassian here. It's pretty interesting. Mortar going for that lone sniper. It can see 2 crits. I don't think that sniper is long for this world. And will it be Goodnight Irene? Yes, it will. Cannot see this. Oh, wait a minute. Can you see both models? Okay, apparently that mortar could see both miniatures. So that is actually a full sniper activation dead off that mortar shot. The old adage just holds true. Just roll crits. Seems to be a good way to succeed in Legion. It's an interesting point, Dustin, that you don't even know what the deployment zones even are. Because this could be hemmed in just as easily, right? Our yellow commandos move dodge to get out of the way, and now comes the tack strike. With unit of ISF here in pink moving up, going to try to probably put the hurt on Cassian. Double moving to get that double hit of tactical. Oh, I see. Are they trying to go inside of the range? They're trying to go inside of K2's incognito range, but I don't think they can make it. I think they're just out. I saw the ruler drop for 6.3 there. Alright, so Luke will not try to dive K2 and get inside of incognito range. He's going to go ahead and just dump on Cassian here with the silhouettes. Now, Cassian does have situational awareness, but he doesn't have nimble. So I think what we're hoping for here is that K2 is pulled early enough to give Cassian a dodge before another tack strike hits. Welcome, Madman. Welcome back. He killed one ISF and he put a wound on a mortar, so I don't think that counts as good hits. I would hope my tack strike does 3. And yeah, K2 could actually calculate dodge and pump more dodges into Cassian that way. That's a very good point. Alright, here comes the ISF. They're going to be missing a dice since one of their number was killed by Crackshot. But I think there's going to be more than enough here. 2 aims, and I think 3 actually after O-Push. Yeah, O-Push exhausted, so he could just drop all 3 aims and convert, but I don't know what the math... I guess he's just going to turn them all to crits, yep. Yeah, so he swings his pointer around saying all these become crits from my aims here. Cassian spends the dodge and rolls 3 saves against this. No Danger Sense currently active. No, he has Danger Sense active. Rolls 0, though. He's going to take 3 wounds off the top here from that first tactical strike. The Danger Sense was not operating, or did not give him that extra save. He should have saved 1. I say should have, but like he was likely to save 1, but the dice did not swing his way. There is 4 crits off the top, and we're desperately hoping that K2 gets pulled. It is a Tauntaun. That is pretty awful. All the shores are still up. You can think of it almost like the Death Star shield still being up. Basically, every activation that's still yet to go is like a shield for your opponent. And it's sort of like if you get close to me, I'll smack you back. You gotta just try to play that rhythm game. With a smart little double move here from the Tauns behind this second dividing wall. Just maneuvering in closer, trying to get into that range where they can maybe get some rams going. The only truly good melee unit is Iden in Luke Cook's list, but the shooting is so intense that may not matter. Alright, Mortar on the way, gonna put some hits on the Rebel Troopers. So yeah, the Mortars and the Shores, it's interesting. They're gonna try to find more angles here. I guess they could advance toward the Rebels' deployment zone. Moving into Tauntaun is not necessarily the greatest thing. Another mortar with 2 crits for the champ and a double save from the Rebel troopers. I bet he wished Cassian had rolled even close to that good. Did not expect a double save from those Rebels there. Surprised to be sure, but a welcome one. And here is a sniper going to put some suppression down and possibly take a short trooper model off the board. Nice double hit. Does have an aim there. Sees if he can get 2 crits. Does not get the second one. And he'll punch down one of those shorts. Or not punch him down, but he'll shoot him down. A short is removed thanks to Pierce. So no need to worry about your opponent's saves. That is the one thing I enjoy the most about Rebels is they have a reputation as the Pierce faction. Those of you who play Games Workshop systems know the mortal wound phrase. Basically just means things that ignore save dice or ignore defensive dice. Yeah, I wouldn't call it yet, Madman. Again, it really depends on. I'm really surprised that the ISF aren't just finishing Cassian off. I'm really surprised about that. I think he's waiting to see if the Tauntauns give him an opportunity to shoot them. If not, he'll just continue shooting Cassian. I'm pretty sure that's why they're being held. And of course, Luke is also going with his longest range stuff first, which is just also a general good rule of play. Is you put the long stuff in first, and you put the short stuff in last. And then when the short stuff is vulnerable, you run it away. It's just generally how a lot of these games go. And he pulls the operative token, very nice. So K2 calculate dodge should be the play here. Just to give Cassian that extra layer of protection. There's really no need to do anything with K2 right now. There it is. So stacking those dodges to the ceiling. Just giving Cassian a few extra health points there. When you talk about situational awareness, dodge tokens basically become free HP. Hey, what's up, Hubert? If you type exclamation point red list and exclamation point blue list in the chat, it'll show you what the lists are. But the summary is Iden triple ISF versus Cassian triple Tauntaun. That's the summary. Alright, some shores in the pipe here. Can they get range 3 on those rebels and try to wipe them out? I guess, It's going to be tough because there's that one trooper that probably can't be seen in the back. Even if he puts his short trooper out in front, really unlikely. You see how careful he's being here. He knows that Tauntauns, if they have a straight shot, can go 17 inches in their guns. So I think they have like a 29-inch threat range. Tauns are just so stupidly fast. He swings the 221 out. He's got R2 and 3PO in range 4. But they are going to continue going after these rebel troopers. Just in the name of killing more activations. No, they cannot see the entire unit there. Getting that one crit though. And another rebel falls. Alright, another Tauntaun getting pulled. Still quite early, but this blocking wall is going to give DrHUGE some room to breathe. Yeah, that's true. The windows on this Bespin map are deceptive. You think you're protected by them, and then it turns out, oh, well, if I'm at this exact angle, I can snipe you through the doors. A little bit of Rainbow Six influencing our Legion experience. I mean, if you have a character with jump, roofs are destructible, right? Like you just blow a hole right through them and jump through. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be pretty cool though if terrain had soft wall rules. Like you'd basically have to spend an attack action to open the wall, is how I'm feeling it. Or maybe like you could attack through this wall, but you have to use half your dice. I don't know. That'd be like for a force field. I could see it though. I could see soft walls in this game. That would be pretty cool. Add a new dimension to the whole experience. Get terrain with wounds. Yeah. That's actually pretty sick. I love that chat is full of like creative people. It's really cool. It's like I don't think you can play Legion and not have a spark of creativity. I just don't think that's possible. Oh man, do these shores have range 4 on cast? It's looking like it. Ruh-roh. Oh, the wall is he's just so. Yeah, it's not in. Oh man, that's so close. But no cigar. Trying to get that extra shot in with the 221s. He's got to be saving these these last ISFs for the Tauns. Yo, speaking of Rams, I've been playing a lot of Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition lately. Capped Rams are so good. Alright, putting another shot into these poor rebels, who are gonna get smoked with another crit. And they save it. But suppression is piling up. Now on 5-6 suppression? Holy smoke, these guys have really taken some heat. Between the mortar fire and the chip shots, they could easily panic. Do they just run away? They do not run away. Crazy good rally. The rebels do not flee. And with one action, maybe DrHUGE can get him out of there. Oh, wrong unit. Yeah, they can actually run to cover. Big rally there, keeping that activation on the board. What happened to the 24-hour squadron stream? Was that something I was gonna do? Did I say I was gonna do a 24-hour squadron stream? God, I hope not. I like squadrons, but I don't know if my hands can take it. Okay, so oh wow. So YISF on one move. Trying to see if they can get there off the second, because once they commit to that first move, they have to go for on the second move. I'm pretty sure they'll get it on 2 moves here. Yeah, easy peasy. All right, so can Cassian, with his danger sense now stacked up a little bit and some additional situational dodges, survive another ISF shot? And 3 aims come down. Super cool move though if Cassian survives this to bait the Alpha Strike. And I mean, then Luke Cook will have a fight on his hands. But Cassian has to survive. Okay, another 4 crit shot. I mean, you might as well. Okay, yeah, he's gonna just put them all into crits, and then 2 dodges go, and then Danger Sense 2 active. So Cassian, I think Cassian would still take a wound here. Yeah, he'll still take a wound. And then he'll be on 2 with no dodges, and I think that third ISF, it might not actually be close enough to shoot Cassian. So Cassian may survive. Wild. Okay, double move from R2, kind of expected. Gotta be careful about displacement with these Tauntauns, though. Purple's gonna have to come around the middle here. And then, I wonder if Iden just plays Concussive Blast or something. Oh, I forgot Iden has Steady too, so Cassian actually is dead. Because Iden will steady her way into crits now. Cassian, 2 wounds remaining. Danger Sense can overroll Pierce, but it's rare. Full blank, but Marksman should take care of it. And with 3 aims, she'll convert 1 crit there. Rerolling again for blank. So I think just the 1. And Cassian Danger Sense can negate it. And did Cassian did roll Danger Sense 3, that was correct. So Cassian might live on 1 wound if black can't reach. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm feeling like Last Stand could dig him out eventually. Hubert. Does anyone know Luke Cook? Nice. Yeah, lots of people know Luke Cook, dude. Oh wow, Shore Troopers rallying here is huge. That means they could potentially angle in and shoot some tawns this turn. There's actually a line here where the bases of red can be seen, and that's no bueno. And exactly range 3 should easily avoid the melee. Yeah, see, my wonder is why not just deploy Cassian behind the line of sight blocking terrain anyway? And just wait. And when they try to break into your deployment zone, you tackle them with your melee and stall. And then hopefully Cassian and Iden score 2 points and you win. But that's a strategy for another game. We're way past that. Alright. Shore is shooting Tawns and Heavy. They are down 1 character, but it is a range 3 shot, and they can still pack quite a wallop. Heavy cover and 2 dodges are active, but crits are the order of the day. 2 crits. They just don't care about your dodges, man. So 1 wound likely. There it is. Tenacity activated. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a bad play strictly speaking. I think he's weathered the Alpha Strike extremely well. Like, if you can get out of this turn not having lost any units, like, you're in a great place. So I mean, it's unorthodox as hell. And you know, honestly, if I deliver any critique, it's because I'm looking at optimizations. I'm not looking at like the general thrust of the idea is wrong. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just thinking about optimizations I could make if I was playing competitively in his shoes. It's not really meant to be like a criticism of players as, you know, judging them somehow. Right, and that's it. Because you know, I think a lot of folks are in the belief that if standby sharing is affected by the RRG, that ISF then becomes the new meta boogeyman. Yeah, exactly, Madman Rambler. And it definitely involves Cassian, but it probably doesn't involve Tauntauns. It probably involves Cassian, and it probably involves Luke, and it probably involves R2 and 3PO. And it probably involves 3 snipers. Okay, now I'm curious. I don't know if Black can reach. So, will they just go forward? Can they double move, cohere around a corner, and kill off an activation here? Might be a little greedy. He wants to get the tactical strike though. I mean, could they just shoot R2D2? This is Danger Town because at this stage, I don't know, he might still get melee. He's got to be careful. He does not want to give melee cheaply. He being Luke Cook here. Okay, this is smart. He's got the range 3 here. He is going to get at least one activation down. But it is going to be a Naked Rebel Trooper. Oof, some really terrible dice there. Actually, math, I think, says reroll hits, don't marksman. Okay, I guess he went for 3 crits instead and does the wounds he needs to do. I guess all he had to get was 3 there anyway to try to exceed the average. But those rebels are dead, and activation is off the board now. Luke Cook is now up 40 points in this match, the match point between the LouisVuiTaunTauns and the basic Bespin Biths. Tactical Strike is over. And not... Well, I shouldn't say not a lot to show for it. There's actually 2 activations off the board. I'd forgotten about these snipers that died since they had gone down so unceremoniously. So the activation count is now even at 10 each. So Luke has made the aggressive plays he needed to make to even up that activation count. Cassian is still alive. Still a lot of game to go. Turn 2 underway shortly. Huge thanks to our sponsors for the Season 4 tournament, the 5th Trooper, the Evergreen Benefit League, and 6-Up Supply. Oh, basic Bespin Biths. What does it mean? I think the image is best summed up in the picture of Paris Hilton with a Bith head. Hang on. Yeah, that right there is a basic Bespin Bith. Okay, so DrHUGE knows what he's gonna play. Luke, not so much. Do you just ambush Cassian and run him out of there, or do you play Last Stand? I think that's got to be Last Stand. He dropped it so fast. That has to be Last Stand for 3 dodges. Do you just pulse scan here? No, you coordinate fire. Okay, that's perfect. It's not like Cassian can shoot anyway. He doesn't have the right gun out, so he has to just run. So coordinated fire is correct because of the additional aim proliferation. You also go last with the ISF by making sure everything but them has orders on it. That's like also the beauty of coordinated fire in this list, is that it basically gives you perfect order control. It creates a situation where you only have 3 special forces and operative in your pool. Last Standby dumps 3 dodges onto Cassian, and K2 generates no tokens since he has no wounds. And K2 will calculate first. Oh, is he going to stay in? Oh, man. I think he might stay in. Well, you know, if I had 5 dodges, I might stay in too. You know? So K2 calculates on himself, takes a dodge, and Cassian goes to 5 dodges of situational awareness. It's so great. You'll love to see this. It's so fun. Wild. Okay. And the action goes back to Luke Cook, who's just going to draw and say, fine, you want to challenge me? Go right ahead. Though this could also be a bait, because as soon as Cassian's dodges are expended, he just pieces out. And Iden gets pulled first. Oh yeah, that's interesting. So Iden decides, I think, to aim shoot. And Cassian just takes a dodge off. Okay, so Luke does show me that he did have that single shore trooper. It just looked a little far on the screen, but range 1 is actually quite far. And now Cassian will roll Indomitable and doesn't roll off enough to be unsuppressed. So now he has to choose between shooting and moving. I mean, he always had to do that, make that choice because of the cumbersome weapon, but okay. Yeah, he's gonna danger sense his suppression on. Wow, he's staying in. Wild. I guess he feels ballsy. Okay. Cassian stays in and he keeps going for pink. Maybe he's like, okay, I got 4 dodges, I got danger sense. Let's go. Another shot here. Just converting 1 crit will kill another pink ISF. Yeah, this is wildly ballsy, but I guess K2 can make a move next turn. I don't know. Man, I don't feel terribly great, even with Danger Sense fully charged. He's really trying to test the limits of how far Cassian's Danger Sense can go. And now Luke Shore is likely going to target red once again and see if they can remove a model. They have an aim and coordinated fire as well. So they'll have 2 aims. Unless they're shooting without aiming, they might choose to move away to try to get themselves some protection. Another struggle here is these Tauntauns have no orders, so they're going to have to walk in piecemeal, and that is never a good thing. Not a great start. 3 hits, and rolling again the second aim. Make it 4, so likely another wound going on the Tauntauns here. Not what he was hoping for sure. Yes, 1 more wound. Hey, what's up, Nickel City? How's it going, Nickel City? Thanks for the raid. Welcome, welcome. So for those of you coming in just now, just joining us, this is Star Wars Legion. It's going pretty good, I would say. We're watching the World Champion right now, piloting ISF and Shore Troopers. against DrHUGE from Team LouisVuiTaunTaun, who is piloting Cassian and Tauntauns. Because you always play Tauntauns, apparently, if you're running a LouisVuiTaunTaun. Okay, wow, Naked Rebel's moving up to shoot Shore Troopers. This is cool. Just looking for the value there. Rebel Troopers are only worth 40 points, and Shores are much more expensive. But is he... What is he doing here? Is he not shooting now? I don't know. We'll figure out what he's doing in just a second. But the story of the game really has been Cassian and K2SO infiltrating behind some high stone covers, or high stone wall here in the heavy cover, and getting the heck shot out of them by Iden Versio, Special Forces. And Cassian played his last stand card, which gave him a ton of dodge tokens. Because he has situational awareness, he can cancel critical results. And so Cassian is just tanked up. He's tanked up really high right now, and it's unclear if he'll survive though, because he only has 2 wounds left. Awesome, awesome. Welcome. Who is playing your X-Wing game? And what was being played? Also, solidarity, because we're now all AMG products. Okay, so Rebel Troopers did not end up shooting, they just moved and dodged. A mortar took a standby token. Okay, this is cool. So what standby here is meant to do is punish Tauntauns on the way in. Tauntauns only shoot at close range. They have pistols. And so the pistols only go range 2, which is about 12 inches. And so standby here is also 12 inches normally, but mortars have a keyword called Sentinel, which means their standby is 18 inches. And so when you trip a standby, you can do a free move or attack. So basically this mortar is trying to save its attack for when these Tauntauns approach to do their damage. One of us, one of us. Lots of Empire tonight, yeah. Right, Deco, Luke Cook, the Eternal World Champion. Hey, what's up, John Solo? Well, Tactical Strike did happen. It did a lot of damage, but it didn't... It only killed 1 unit. So, in a sense, it was not like the slam dunk Tactical Strike that Luke Cook was hoping for. That would just annihilate something really important. A lot of it went into Cassian, who was able to resist it. And so this Cassian man, he's in trouble. Only 2 wounds remaining. He's got a stack of dodges from K2 thanks to Last Stand. And K2's own Calculate Odds action and Dodge action. But these Tauntauns now are coming in. They got range 2. Do they have vision? Yeah, they do. Oh man, so it's these, and you see here this red band on the screen? That red band is range 3, so this Tauntaun unit is out of range of the mortar standby, so it will not get to shoot before these Tauntauns get to shoot. So this first Tauntaun bullet coming in here, they also have Sharpshooter, which is going to reduce the heavy cover being granted by this structure from heavy to light. And Tauntauns roll 4 red dice, which is really consistent. Dice quality in Legion goes from red is the best and white is the worst. And then on each dice, you have surges, which is sort of like a focus. But I would not be surprised to see 3 hits going onto these shores through cover. There it is. Wow. What a great roll. 2 crits and 2 hits because they do surge to hit. The shores with otherwise a full save. They don't have surge to block. So they're just going to lose 1 shore, but it's still damage dealt. Every unit is very capable in Luke Cook's list, but they're all precious. And so if even one of them dies, it could actually be really bad for him. Meanwhile, in the Rebel camp, the Tauntauns are the most precious units before Cassian and K2. And then, of course, you have R2-D2 and 3PO, who... It's interesting, they kind of troll the opponent. They have this ability called Distract that can force things to attack them. But their really big, powerful move they like to do is called Secret Mission, where if they end up in the enemy's deployment zone, it's an additional victory point at the end of the game. So R2 and 3PO are just mega trolls. That's kind of what they do in Legion. Alright, so we got an ISF activating here for Luke Cook. They don't have their aim token to generate crits, but they do have Crit Surge, or not Crit Surge, they have a Critical 2, which is similar to Crit Surge. That's basically going to be 2 crits, and Cassian will spend 2 of his situational awareness dodges to negate that damage. And the ISF are moving out. Okay, trying to just create more angles. Maybe if these 2 Tauntaun units decide to go through this pathway, the ISF can then flank around the side. Now, it's important to note the objective tonight is breakthrough. Sorry for the wonky camera. Let me go ahead and just get that up on the screen. So it says right there, at the end of the game, each player gains a victory token for each of their unit leaders within an enemy deployment zone. So to actually win the objective, Luke Cook's units have to go where this army is. And for DrHUGE, the Rebel player, he's already got 2 units very much pushed up into Luke's deployment zone. In fact, they're almost inside the Imperial deployment zone already. So Luke does need to focus on them a little bit, does need to try to actually kill them. That, or he could just try to surge forward with his entire army and see if he can get into the Rebel end zone, which starts about right here where my cursor is hovering. Hey, what's up, Gordon? Good evening. Oh, my pleasure. All right, so we got more Imperial units activating here, and the cool thing about this turn is that Luke Cook played a command card called Coordinated Fire. And Coordinated Fire, what it does is that it says after a friendly core unit spends an aim token, another friendly unit at range 1 to 2 may gain an aim token. So basically, aims allow you to reroll dice, and that card lets you pass aims around to different units. But the best thing about ISF, Imperial Special Forces, is that they have the Marksman keyword. And what Marksman lets you do, let me get it up here, you basically spend your aims to improve attack die results. So a unit with Marksman can spend an aim to turn a blank to a hit, and it can also spend an aim to turn a hit to a crit. And basically the way this list works, the Empire has a ton of abilities that stack those aims up, as you can see from like Coordinated Fire. There was also Tactical Strike, which was played first, which is like the big card, basically. Essentially, it says things that got orders, they gain Steady and Tactical 1. Steady lets you attack for free after moving twice, and Tactical gives you an aim every time you move. So you can see the incredible synergy between ISF and Tactical Strike. Sort of what the kits were designed for thematically, sort of like how Cassian and K2 are paired together with Pathfinders and Jyn Erso. Tauntauns are paired with like Leia, for example, thematically, because Leia can give them free movement. There's a lot of like synergistic pairings there that are sort of done by era or done by film or done by video game in this case, since ISF and Iden are from the Battlefront video games. And yeah, John, that's actually right. It's it is maximum firepower on a unit. So every Tauntaun can shoot maximum firepower every turn. But that seemed to be less of a problem now with clones being as crazy as they are. Alright, we got some measurement here. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm trying to follow these cursors. Usually I'm pretty good at this, but there's some complicated rules interaction. Awesome, John Solo. Thank you for that $20 supporting prostate cancer research. Yeah, man, that's totally you, right? That's awesome. Almost. Almost. Okay. Mortar's moving here, declining to shoot, though they can still stand by. Wow. Okay, so Luke is preparing a standby wall, basically, with his mortars, trying to prevent these Tauntauns from getting in without being punished. Oops. Oh, no. Gordon, you beautiful man, donating $50 for prostate cancer research. Thank you for coming through like that. That is super awesome. Big props to both John Solo and Gordon. And of course, Daniel, who donated earlier. Thank you. Alright, another activation for the Rebels here. It is a Tauntaun unit that took some damage earlier. They really don't care about that one suppression, but they might care about standby. It's going to be an interesting ride. They are going around this side, though, so they'll probably avoid the standby from purple and blue. I think they're going to look to connect with red again, try to attack things that their friendly Tauntauns are, or their other Tauntauns are attacking. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to kind of like swoop around here, maybe get to the... Oh yeah, 18 inches is pretty far for that mortar. That mortar will almost certainly... Oh no. It's measuring from the head of the gunner. And so I think there's a path these Tauntauns can go into that standby is just denied, and I think DrHUGE is finding that path right now. And maybe even out of the arc. Yeah, he's actually out of the front firing arcs of both these mortars. He's just got to be careful about where he puts that second mini. Yeah, because this front firing arc ends right here. And there's no way that second rider is going to be inside of it, so... Luke can spend standbys over here, but they're not going to be able to shoot with the mortars themselves. Yeah, that is kind of the old way to keep Tauntauns at bay, is you just try to keep them zoned with your standby tokens. Okay, now from here, I don't think the Tauntauns can make it into melee, but they can certainly shoot. Yeah, speed 3 from here won't get the melee. That model is drifting, that's always a problem. Just gotta make sure he actually moves it where he's meaning to. Uh-oh. Okay, he did fix it there with that little rotate. Now, will he decide to shoot now or shoot at the end of the activation is a good question, too. He could shoot right here and then go behind the divider. Yeah, because he will not make melee. It's absolutely certain he won't. I don't like the total commitment, though. I think I rather like shooting from here and then maybe trying to pull like a right turn and then pivoting at the end. And then on the turn coming back, you pivot again and swing in again. The Tauntaun movement is... It's a ballet. It's actually... It takes a little bit of skill. Just a little. Now, this mortar can certainly see with standby, but it's so close that I don't think the mortar can actually be used. I think mortars have a minimum range of 3. So that's going to be impossible for them to actually do any shooting. However, that mortar could get a free move to try to block the Tauntaun's approach. And that's something we've seen from mortars as well. They might do a free move to walk towards the Tauntauns and try to engage them. But this will be an open shot. Very dangerous for Shore Troopers. This could be a full unit wipe, actually, if Luke does not roll well. 4 hits once again for DrHUGE. Likely going to lose the T-21. Oh, he loses the full unit. Awful. Awful, awful. I think I may have jinxed his dice or cursed his dice somehow, but that full T-21 is gone. So DrHUGE making some inroads here against the world champ. Oh, that's a good question, Hubert. Which of these units is the rebel commander? Yellow snipers are actually the rebel commander at this juncture. So they are definitely going to be in range. I think they'll be in range out here. That range 3, I think, is going to reach to purple. Man, wild. I did not expect that unit to fully die like that. That's brutal. So now what do you do? Do you spend the standby to move? Or do you spend it to attack? Oh, why is my event list not showing? Hold on. It should absolutely be on. There we go. Luke, I think evaluating what his next steps are here. Man, I'm not certain. I almost feel like you should back up and try to kill off red. If possible, he could also just try to bypass the Tauntauns and go into the enemy deployment zone. He does not want to get tied up in melee, so while he's able to move, he should move. So now that I think about it a little more... Okay, he spent purple standby to move forward. Interesting. I guess he's trying to block the approach paths with his mortars, which is smart. Mortars kind of function as tank traps in a way. Creature troopers cannot move over them, and vehicles cannot move over them as well. Even vehicles as tall as the ATST can get blocked by a mortar. It's one of those one of those small absurdities. Okay, purple is not moving forward. Purple is going to engage red. Okay. Not going to be able to deny cover, but crits are crits after all. This also means that Tauntauns are going to be in melee next turn. It's tense. I don't know if these shores can kill these Tauntauns in time. It's really tense. It really depends on whether they can get the lead out here with the crits. Heavy cover being afforded here. Plus 2 dodges again from Agile. And no crits to be found in that roll. This could be a full block. Yup, fully blocked by cover and dodges. 0 damage. That's huge. It's huge for DrHUGE. And an aim gets passed to another ISF unit. Now, ISF with coordinated fire stacking should be able to force crits and should be able to take down these Tauntauns, but between the amount of damage mitigation from Last Stand and the Tauntaun's Agile, it's going to be really hard. This game is like the revenge of the dodge token. But it's almost purely from Luke's bad luck at this juncture. Rolling 8 dice and getting 0 crits is pretty bad. In fact, he rerolled once there. That's just bad luck, really. Luke is still ahead, though. No, is he ahead? Oh, no. No, he is ahead because this shore is worth less than these two, but not by much. That's 88, and then the shore is what? 84, 86? Yeah, so it's 2 points difference. So from a points destroyed perspective, Luke has a very small lead. And now what will these snipers be able to punish? He could try to strip a standby. Or no, he's not in range. Okay. So his choices are mortar. Mortar, aim, shoot? I don't know. R2 calculates on himself. Interesting. Yeah, he doesn't want to risk himself too much. Although it's interesting, they could... I haven't done this in a long time. RGG2 could calculate to a Tauntaun unit. Not that they need aims necessarily, but in melee it's helpful to have that extra aim. Oh, was 4 white wrong? Okay, I'll poke him. Alright, so we're going back to get the correct dice pool. It was actually lower quality than it should have been. And these Tauns would have 2 dodges, and they'd still have an aim to spend. Okay, so the end result of fixing it was an additional wound on the Tauntauns, but they got to keep their dodges. Which, probably less important versus ISF and Marksman. Okay, Pink decides to move and shoot into the blue shores, trying to suppress them. Gets the double hit even, takes one down. No need to reroll there. It feels so good when you move your sniper and then natty 2 hits. That's the best feeling as a rebel sniper. Oh man. Because you expect it to blank most of the time. Or just like get the one and then it's like, oh, it's heavy cover. Rip. Alright, this is white ISF into Cassian. Let's see what we get here. Man, it's going, Talk Polite. The Tauntauns did kill a shore unit. Cassian is still hanging on. The ISF are trying to do damage. It's hard between the number of dodge tokens Cassian still has and heavy cover. He will have to roll. Let's see. Does he even have to roll a save against this? It's 5 with that critical surge. So Danger Sense should be rolling against 1 here. Oh, he doesn't even get it. That's so painful on a fully charged Danger Sense not to get an additional result. Cassian's dead. Wow. That was Cassian's 6th wound there. Danger Sense failing to come through for him. That is really big. Cassian is down on turn 2. It looked like he was going to survive, but Luke Cook just manages to eke it out. Danger Sense did not show up. So despite the heroic efforts of K2 and Cassian, Cassian was eliminated, but K2 is still incognito in the backfield, still threatening the breakthrough. So as a K2 delivery system, Cassian did his job. Cassian also got 2 of his important cards out before going down, so there may be only 1 dead command card. Oh man, if he cut this turn a little closer, he might have been able to get into melee, but of course the standby from blue might have something to say about it. I love the faces in the chat. That's perfect. It's basically just me. My team win yet? Not yet. Not yet, Starscream. Not yet. Soon though. Maybe. It's still pretty close game. I mean, it's anyone's game at this stage. The Imperials certainly look stronger just because they're balled up more. But the Tauns are still like mostly healthy. And they're going to engage. It's not a question of if. It's a question of when. And once they get in, it's going to be hard for the ISF and the Shores to survive necessarily against this kind of punishment. Yeah, if he cuts that in, oh man, it's so close to making melee. I bet you he could almost make melee there. That is legal. He does not displace R2 with that move. Oh man. It's been so long since I have witnessed a Tauntaun ramming an Imperial unit of any type. Damn clones. No joy. No, never any joy when it comes to clones. Alright, so standby shot, delivering suppressions. Oh, the Tauns are in the open. That's a mistake. Oh, they save anyway, not getting punished there. And will they make melee? No, they're gonna shoot and then do what? Oh, I was mistaken. That wasn't a... Wait, is that still a single move? Oh, he might just spin these ones back here. That's possible. He's choosing to shoot from here. It's definitely... Yeah, it's heavy to light. He's not touching. So 2 going through. Take 1 down there. Man, I really thought he could have gone in melee with black. Oh, it was so close though. Yeah, he was just a little bit too far from going into melee. Oh, they're gonna reverse. Nice. I love this play. Yes, this is the way. Just reverse behind the line of sight blocking terrain. That's how you do it, buddies or bros. Reversing with Tauntaun is also a favorite move. They do not get agile. Oh, I guess he took his 1. Never mind. Yeah, standby would trigger before agile. Nerfly says, I don't know, I had joy when I one-shot Cassie in that one game. Yeah. Yeah, that was sad. Okay, so now with the reversal move, he might still be in range next turn to go into melee with black. Off a double move, actually. I think they would have a ram there. Red certainly has a ram next turn. Purple, no. But there are some Tauntauns threatening rams. Black did not activate yet. Maybe that's why he didn't go into melee. Though shutting down black's shooting is important. Because now they'll just shoot Tauntauns. Yeah. Backup alarm. Exactly. Yeah, so man. Okay. I hate it, but I don't hate it. Who had the aims over here? Was it blue? Blue had aims. Yeah, so now they just move shoot Tauns, and Tauns take wounds. Because they only have 1 dodge. Pretty good. 2 crits there. And then how many aims do they have for marksman? Do they have 2? No. Oh, they must have had an aim for marksman. Oh my god! Insane white dice! Full block! That's just great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Give me all those white saves. I really need a salt emoji. Really and truly. The shaker. Just pure salt right there. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So Rebel Sniper now double moving to take up a firing position. Coming out from hiding and holding an angle into the center. Just remind folks of the score of the game right now. Imperial's wildly ahead now, or not wildly ahead, but just like ahead, generally speaking, because Cassian is down. Cassian is worth 112. So if I'm not mistaken, Luke Cook has widened his points lead to 114 at this juncture. Imperial's still some units that are damaged, but for the most part, looking fairly healthy. Tauntaun's only red has been wounded so far, but it is about to lose a model. The shores with 2 suppression do not successfully rally, so their shooting options are going to be very limited. I mean, if Luke did sweat, he would probably sweat Fireball. Is alcohol a performance-enhancing drug in Legion? Just wondering. Have we really come this far? We're going to talk about PEDs in Legion. Alright, well these blue troopers do decide to move back. And it's really cool. I like how Luke has his shore troopers arrayed around the mortar. Not just for cover's sake, but also potentially blocking end positions of Tauntauns, although they could just go right over this barricade. Unless they've determined that these things do grant cover. But that is going to be the end of the second turn, and what a bloody turn it's been. Wow. Alright, so DrHUGE moving his commander to a more central location. I bet you he's going to drop Assault on these Tauns now. I certainly would if I was in his position. I want to get that order control. This is the turn for order control. Okay, push is also good. Oh, tying for priority with Concussive Blast. Okay, so Iden Concussive Blast might be going for K2 here, and DrHUGE loses the priority, which is not the worst thing ever. Only Iden will get this order on Conch Blast, and so no shore troopers will have aims. Wow, it's looking mighty thin suddenly because none of the order control is present. None of the additional aim tokens are present anymore. Both the best cards in the list, Coordinated Fire and Tactical Strike, have been burned, and the resulting damage not that much overall when you still have Tauntauns to deal with. Oh, okay, he can use the mortar to engage this Tauntaun and block it. I don't really like the aim standby here. I think blocking is preferable, but he's going for the sniper in the back. Okay, never mind. This is fine. He's looking for another activation kill. The sniper puts both minis out. Does he get the double crit? No. Can he aim for 2? Oh, nothing at all. Just not coming through for him suddenly. And now it's up to DrHUGE. What are you going to do now? Unfortunately, orange is in danger of losing an action to suppression. Red is not. I think you go with red here. You can actually move, shoot, and then tie up the mortar. I think that's correct. You do not go for the ram. You just move, shoot blue, try to kill them, and then tie up the mortar. I think that's correct. Or you just ram the mortar. Either way. No, actually I think shooting blue is correct, because blue is worth more points. Yeah, move, shoot, engage mortar is what I would do. Because that mortar's done. And then on your next activation, you can just withdraw and you still get your free actions. because you're a creature trooper. Okay, or is he going to try to go for purple? Ah, man. It's a tough call. Basically, you're trying to get the play that does the most damage whilst also ensuring your Tauns live as long as possible. That's what you're trying to do. If you're in his shoes. Wow. That won't get it quite, but that is a full speed move. Could he just turn in and ram purple? That is a possibility. I'm pretty sure that clears. Man, that is so close, but I think that clears. Okay, he's going for... Okay, he's going for blue for the ram. I think this is actually worse. Think of it this way, right? I can shoot into the open against blue, probably do 3 hits. They might fail 2 saves and lose their T21 and be down to just the leader. And then I engage and my Tauns are safe for the rest of the turn. But instead, it's displacement. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so he's displacing... He might be displacing blue to ram purple. Interesting. Going for sealing instead. Okay, interesting. Now, I kind of get this too. There's another argument here for engaging the full unit, because the full unit shooting is the most dangerous. And so by engaging them in melee, you shut them down. There is an argument there for this play. I don't prefer it, but we'll see if it works out. Yeah, shutting down a good shooting unit is definitely smart, and also getting a displacement on purple as well, just to give him a suppression. Here comes the ram, and it's a full boat for 7. Very nice. That's the stuff. 2 wounds. A very good defensive roll for Luke there. Just going to lose a couple shores. But now, as soon as he draws a core, these Tauntauns will start taking wounds again. And by engaging the mortar, you bypass all the other wounding potential on this turn. Right, now Luke has a decision to make. Does he want to disengage with purple immediately? Of course, here's the flip side of the coin. Purple disengaging could mean they get shot up by the purple Tauntaun. I think they're going to do it. Oh no, this is actually blue? Who is this? Hello, who this? No, it is the purple shore going to withdraw. Yeah, this makes the most sense. Just open those Tauntauns up, increase the potential damage. Because, again, look at the position on the board here. The red was very far in front relative to the other units. And all three Tauntauns are not going to end up engaging simultaneously. And DrHUGE with a big rally there. He needed that one result to be the most effective he could be. And I think he'll have a ram on black. Yeah, certainly. So he's going to ram into black ISF with their surge. The trouble with this, though, is when you go early like this and don't re-engage activated units, you're inviting your opponent to do damage in parallel with you. And that's really not good, especially when your opponent has better saves. Oops-a-daisy. Alright, another Tauntaun Ram. This one does not have Tenacity enabled. And they are going to do not quite as well, but still 5 is very respectable. But against Surging Red, probably just 1 wound here. Oh, wow, a big fault from Luke there. Unfortunate. Gonna lose 3 ISF to that Ram. That is significant, very significant loss of ISF there. So what does Luke have left? Wow. He has a full health Iden. He has 1 full ISF. He has 3 models of ISF here, 2 models of ISF here, and 2 T21s and 3 mortars. Purple really has to get in the fight, though. Okay, blue is not going to rally. It's going to stand and fight against double dodging Taun. And maybe this will kill a model? Yes, okay, 1 Tauntaun model will fall. The first Tauntaun model of the game falling on turn 3. Not ideal. Okay, snipers are up. And I think from this position, I'm looking to take out one of those mortars in the center. Or I could put another wound on the shores back here if I have the range. All depends on what the ranges are. Instead, DrHUGE is actually... Oh, wow. Okay. So is the intention to break through with these snipers? After all, it's going to be really tough. I think he's probably just trying to open up this angle through the offices. Because Luke's deployment zone starts at about this planter here. And you've only got 3 turns left, and I don't think 3 moves can get you there. I just don't think it's possible. I think I'd rather have shot the mortar twice and try to get rid of it. And what will Luke do? Luke... Well, Iden's got to get in on this Tauntaun killing business. Some way. Okay, this is smart. ISF withdraw towards the deployment zone. And then Iden and her ISF friends should probably shift up and try to kill orange. Or they could just kill red. thing is, they want to still make progress towards breaking through. Maybe the DrHUGE is just going to run every unit towards the enemy deployment zone now. Yeah, I just don't know if he can make it from here. That's a long way. Maybe he can with 3 double moves. Yeah, K2 is still hidden. Okay, so ISF do decide to shoot red. I think this is smart. You just want to get those Tauntauns down, increase your points lead. Just get those suckers out of here. And this is why I mentioned engaging the mortar. There was just too much of Luke's shooting left on the board still to end your activation unengaged. Oh no, they're going for orange instead. Wow. Okay. Even though they have open here. Alright, able to put a wound in. Now R2 and 3P are going to get into it. Can R2... I kind of want to see R2 move down here and start killing these ISF. I mean, you might as well. R2 and 3PO playing bouncers here. No, sir, you may not enter the club. Guess I could see both models. I love this. R2 with the Electro Prod going in. It's like, alright, 3PO. Beep boop. Do it. You know you want to. Zap? Oh, come on, zap him. Alright, never mind. Oh, you know what'd be really cool? He could actually move R2 and 3PO up here and then distract as a free action, right? Isn't distract free? Didn't we learn this from Zeus Juice? You could actually double move R2, put 3PO over here and hit distract and protect your Tauntauns. That's amazing. Why don't people do that more? Okay, instead they're calculating? What are they doing? Hit him with the distract, yo. I know, right? Should have hit those ISF with distract. I think he actually had the range. Distract is range 2, isn't it? Yeah, it's range 2. That's absurd. Alright, ISF put some more crits into these tawns. Will they survive? Of course they will. They'll take their first... no, never mind. That's actually 2 more wounds. They're on 3 wounds now. So getting melted. Slowly but surely. Yeah, they could also charge next turn. That'd be pretty awesome. Oh, wow. Okay, so they showed the deployment zone briefly there. You got 2 ISF threatening to break. Rebels are all double moving, getting ready to break through themselves. This could be a pretty wet and wild ending to a game. Just utter chaos and mayhem. Tauntaun's getting melted, ISF dying, R2-D2 zapping. Dogs and cats living together. Okay, pivot shoot. Again going for the double crit on the yellow snipers. And gets a double hit instead. That'll just get absorbed by cover. Okay, now it's purple's time to activate number 13. Lucky 13 Tauntaun. I want to know, have any of you named your Tauntauns? Like, I don't mean the rider, I mean the Tauntaun. You know, like Secretariat or Grease Lightning, I don't know. Right. They really do kind of look like a reindeer when you put them all together on the table. So pivot, move, then move again. He's really not focusing his attacks that well. Because I would think he would have focused on these 2 shore troopers that are kind of weak. But it looks kind of scattered, the decisions that are being made here in this game. Oh shoot, what are the names of those characters from that animated Christmas show? Because there's a million of those. It really narrows it down. There were the fire, was it like the Fire King and the Ice King? I don't remember. My wife showed it to me a couple years ago, and I'm trying to remember who they are. They had some great theme songs, though. I bet you someone out there knows. One of those really old ones from like the 50s. 1950s. Okay, did they get to range 2 on blue? I hope they did. Because if they did, that's a good shot right there. Yes, thank you. Heat Miser and Cold Miser. Amazing. That's right. Thank you for that save. By the way, why aren't you at your post? It's still looking pretty even, I would say, Doc. There are lots of Imperial units that are on the verge of dying, but not dead yet. There's only one Taun model off the board. But this shot may change things. That's big right there. Denying some cover. And, so they're going to lose the T-21 out of that Blue Shore squad. And so this Blue Shore is almost dead. Purple Shores are ailing. These 2 units of ISF have been substantially reduced. Yeah, Mortar is going to shoot with its gun, not with the mortar itself. Gets the hit through in the open. Just putting that extra chip damage in. Maybe it can get suppression as well. So we'll do another wound and a suppression, but nothing else. Iden still is left. Iden could do the finishing blow here with her concussive blast on the red Tauntaun. So come around the corner and be like, "Did you forget about me?" Hey, what's up, Florf? It's been pretty cool. It's actually been a more dynamic game than I would have thought. I thought the game would really have one dynamic, and that was ISF just destroying everything. But once Tax Strike is over, you know, ISF seem pretty even keeled in terms of balance. It's not anything too wild. They're basically better Rebel veterans. They have about the same stat line as a veteran. Yeah, like if you look at them, they're basically Rebel veterans with Courage 2 and Red Dice with an occasional Surge. They have been able to get crits through. That's definitely something they're good at, is just rolling crits. And notice, like, everything in the list has critical at some level. How many points of critical does this list actually run? Let's see, 3, 6, 12. Yeah, critical 12. The Rebels have lost one Tauntaun model, one sniper, and one Rebel Trooper unit. And they have also lost Cassian, sadly. But he did survive long enough to give them some trouble and soak up the Tax Strike to enable the Tauntauns to live. Like, the number one thing that DrHUGE had to prevent from happening was getting his Tauntauns hit by Tax Strike, and he succeeded in doing that. He did have to sacrifice Cassian for it, but Cassian did get 2 important cards out. He did a little bit of damage before dying, so it was not a total loss. The insurance company still mailed him a check. I guess if a car is a total loss, you get the check anyway. That joke doesn't really work. Anyway, here comes Iden with Concussive Blast to finish off this Tauntaun. So if Iden has Concussive Blast, she gains the weapon, and then you can still add Dio's dice, is that right? Because Dio's a separate mini? Or ID10? Yeah, so you still get your, if you get range 1, which she does have, you still get ID10's 3 dice. Yeah, here it comes. Big shot from Iden here. Looking to finish off this Tauntaun. It's pretty good. It has an aim. Marksman will convert that to a hit. 6 go in. 3 wounds only, but it's just enough to remove that Tauntaun. Those white dice could not save him yet.
Right, Cassian also rolled below average on defense twice. Make matters worse. Okay, now K2 is underway. I mean, I'd be content if K2 like double moved down here and just started backstabbing and cleared the way for the Tauntauns to enter the deployment zone. That would actually be legit. A legit use of K2 here with Incognito. Just if he sneaks all the way down. Like comes from like, and it's super fluffy too, right? An Incognito K2 appearing behind the shore troopers and being like, say hello to my little friend and just like killing them all.
Say hello to my little friend.
I am super curious though what DrHUGE will decide to do with him ultimately. I do think just using Incognito and sneaking around the back is appropriate. Okay, he is worth a victory point now because he's inside the deployment zone. Okay. I guess he's trying to see if he can bounce out. "72 minutes left. We're going to be entering round 4. We're slightly behind on time. Okay, he dipped into the deployment zone and then dipped out. I guess just trying to confirm what he could do there. I'm really curious about that. I don't know exactly how that works. Don't know what his plan here is. It is not discernible for me. All right, here we go. Round 4 in this struggle between the LouisVuiTaunTauns and the basic Bespin Biths. This is tournament life on the line for both teams. The loser of this game will be eliminated from the tournament. Ambush coming out for Luke Cook. Who is ambushing? Who else could it be but Iden Versio with the ambush? Orange is in serious trouble, especially now that they've moved so far away from their commander. Assault came down for the rebels, giving it to things that are not Tauntauns. Interesting. Would have thought he would have given orders to Tauns. Luke pulls the core. That's right, K2 does not score breakthrough and Incognito is active. So K2 has to lose Incognito somehow. Oh, that's a very good point. Okay. Yeah, so even more important that K2 came down here to shoot Purple Shores. I think someone mentioned it in the chat that K2 has to break Incognito. Yeah, Daniel, right here, Comedy Gold is K2 still hidden. Luke keeps his units away to not let him shoot. I think that's exactly what's going on here. Okay, looks like purple is going to get their T-21 in on this orange Tauntaun. Try to get rid of that miniature there. Strong possibility they can get it done. There's that one crit they needed. All right, another Tauntaun model falls. So that is 2 out of 6 now, or sorry, 3 out of 6 off the board. So the Tauntauns are at 50% of their total life. Thank you, Daniel. Yes, exactly. I thought I remembered that going by. It may just be that Tauntauns cannot cut the mustard here. Luke taking care of that mandatory reliable trigger, and an operative gets pulled. R2-D2, what are you going to do? Okay, engaging is interesting. Distracting is better? Maybe? Okay, engaging here with R2 and 3PO, I'm gonna go ahead with the Zapper and the Kick, getting a couple hits in there. I might actually kill these guys if he's lucky. Okay, getting a wound through. 3PO's Kick, claiming a life. Actually, 3PO kicking that T-21 to death. I'll teach you some etiquette and protocol. There is only the etiquette of the fist. The etiquette of the golden fist. Alright, so as expected, Pink activates, shoots Taun, just the entire... It's going to be shoot Taun all the way down. Oof, that's big. That actually has a chance to just kill that Tauntaun outright. And DrHUGE does get a very good save. Very important. Tauntaun, though, is at risk of panic now at force suppression. Yeah, and now Pink just engages R2-D2 and ends in the deployment zone engaged. So nothing else can shoot it unless the Taun activates and turns around to ram. Which could be smart, but that all depends on whether it survives this, or not survives, whether it... Actually, yeah, it is a question of survival, because if it panics, it's going to run right off the board. Also moving them away to keep K2 from shooting them. Just trying to deny shots to K2, and K2 just kind of helpless in the backfield here. The table's getting flipped on the Imperial security droid. His disguise worked too well, apparently. Okay, snipers. Double moving is very risky here. A lot of elements left to deny or to guard the deployment zones in both camps. I shouldn't say in both camps. I think the rebels are not doing as good a job of guarding their deployment zone. Yeah, I noticed that Pink did not ultimately engage R2-D2. It's kind of wild to me. I thought they would have engaged him, but instead they decided not to. Yep, and now, I mean, the rebels have to make a desperate run for the end zone. But it's a minefield. It's this very small gap. There's almost, or I shouldn't say there's almost no way through. Like, between the mortar and that heavy cover divider, it's going to be really hard to get through here without getting engaged or just caught by something. This orange Tauntaun really, really needs to live, because if it doesn't live, it cannot do any damage to these units that have already broken through. But the balance of the game is definitely shifting towards the world champ. The Tauntauns just really started to melt once they got in. And I do think that red dying because it didn't choose to end its turn engaged, I think that was very significant. I think not re-engaging was an error. It was a really good ram, but it only dealt 2 wounds. And I think you take what you know is going to happen over what you don't know. Alright, now just going to put a 5th suppression on the Tauntaun with the mortar's regular gun because it moved. These mortars are going to try to break through as well. Basically, everything left for Empire is going to just run full tilt at the blue deployment zone and see if it can get there. It's turn 4 already. That is a 5th suppression on that Tauntaun. Gets pulled. DrHUGE needs to rally 2 here. Super important. He's got to make a good rally here. Yes, he gets the 2. He'll stay on the board with 1 action. This Tauntaun should absolutely pivot and try to ram pink. There's no reason not to. Oh, instead it's going to go for the breakthrough. I think that's wrong. But who knows? It's anybody's game. Because R2 alone can't stop these 2 ISF. And certainly can't stop mortars. And they're definitely not going to be able to shoot in a single action. Oh, man. That's rough. Okay, I guess Relentless Shoot is fine. They're going to get to shoot anyway. But it's only going to be the 2 red. And they miss! They blank out on double red with Surge. That is supremely unlucky for DrHUGE. What a bad break. In contrast, he could have had 4 dice. If he went back into melee, he'd have the 4 dice plus the ram as well. But man, it just going from bad to worse there. And now White ISF is getting in position to try to take on the purple Tauntauns. And I mean, I think Luke is going to be able to split his forces in such a way that the objective is going to fall in his favor at the end of this. Every wound now on these Tauntauns super precious. Luke the Kid with his roll crit strategy. Seems to be working. Couple wounds go in there. So Rebels can double move with everything. And they'll have 5 eligible units to break through, assuming these Tauns don't just die, which they're now in position where they won't die if they engage the correct thing. Yeah, so they're going to move over the gap. What do you choose to ram here? Do you cross the gap, shoot blue, and then engage the ISF? I think that's correct. Or do you cross the gap here, shoot purple, and engage the ISF? Or do you just ram the ISF? I think this is the same thing that got him burned last time, is ramming full strength units. Okay, so he's displacing purple and ramming white. But he will end his turn engaged at least this time, and so there will not be any further damage coming purple's way this turn. Alright, so ISFs do snap into melee. Ram goes off. He's going to get 6 out of this, since he has both of the Taun minis there. Ram 2, excellent for them. Imperials with a surge. Alright, so that's dead average, a couple ISF down there. Again, a lot of Imperial units weakened but not destroyed, and that is less than ideal. Like, just about everything in the Imperial army, with the exception of Iden, has taken damage at this point. But it's all, like, still active, and it's all still really threatening, because they have these heavies that are still alive with a lot of dice. Oof, and the mortar does remove a sniper model that time. Was not able to on the previous turns, but it did kill off that unit leader, but that actually boosts him closer to the deployment zone, which is somewhat favorable, thanks to the heavy weapon team. We saw that situation play out in Evan versus Zeus Juice in the previous round, where mortar shots would actually swing unit leaders closer to objectives, potentially. Alright, so the rebels are going to have a run. They just have to run. They cannot stop to shoot anymore. Turn 4 on breakthrough if they want to have any hope of getting to Red's deployment zone. Meanwhile, Luke has already broken through with 2 of his ISFs. In the opposite corner, they're engaging with R2 and 3PO. It's just not what you'd expect. A couple of missed opportunities with Distract, potentially. Yeah, it would not surprise me if every rebel unit over here just double moves. And I think the assault play here was just to keep them away from Iden. These troopers are very fragile. If any of them get caught in a situation where they, are going to take wounds or are out of cover, they'll just get wiped out potentially by all these really hard-hitting heavy weapons. Well, just to go with the ladder tournament, man. Like, ladder tournament's coming up soon. At least I hope. Depends on if the RRG comes out this week as planned. But given the shakeup, I'm not holding out hope. While we watch these guys double move here. I just want to call out our donators tonight. who've donated so far. Zanal with $60. Flash with 50. John Solo with 20. Let me find the last name here. I know I have a fourth one. Just sift through my events list. Oh, okay, there were only 3. Okay, awesome. I thought there was a 4th for some reason. I'm not sure why. Well, you could be number 4. You out there in Streamland, you could be number 4. We are raising money for prostate cancer research. PCF.org is the leading... Ah, shoot. I can't read it from memory. Let me get their boilerplate out. Normally I have their boilerplate next to me to read it on air. There you go. So Prostate Cancer Foundation funds the world's most promising research to improve the prevention, detection, and treatment of prostate cancer and ultimately cure it for good. And 82 cents of every dollar that you donate goes to their research mission. Oh my goodness. A full save coming out. Or not, that was not a save. That was actually a rally roll. Another big rally for DrHUGE here. He's been rolling some really good white dice today. It's been a little absurd. But even so, oh man, it's going to be tough to get all these troopers through for DrHUGE. Okay, he's going for the mortar. All right, I respect this. This mortar is in the open. If he gets the double hit, he could potentially wipe it out so it does not score. He gets 1. That's a start. All right, so Luke Cook is up on points. He's also up on objective with 2 broken through to 0. K2 would count, but he still has incognito up, so he's a little bit stranded back here. K2's hope is to shoot Iden to drop his incognito so he counts for the objective again. That second operative token hasn't come up yet. And an ISF attempting to punch R2 and 3PO fails in its mission. Or no, I guess he marksmaned it. Ha! Never mind, you can marksman your punches, I forgot. So with an aim punch, you just hit the marksman button and it becomes a hit. That's wild. So marksman working in melee once again, irritating everyone who understands what the word marksman means. Okay, K2, do the thing. You gotta do the thing, K2. You gotta shoot Iden. You gotta. K2, do the thing.
So K2 should move here and just shoot Iden with that with his shorty. Some of you I know play Valorant, and I kind of think of Jin's blaster pistol like a shorty. That is the handheld shotgun. Really a hand cannon. So Iden in the open here. Can K2 get a big score? 3 is not bad, all things considered. So a shield will go. Iden should roll 2 against this, if I'm not mistaken. And she needs to actually roll those dice. And she'll double blanket. Wow. Okay, so Iden taking a couple there from K2, but most importantly, K2 dropping incognito to count for the objective. Exactly, Daniel. All right, so Iden stepping in for the defense of the deployment zone. This purple mortar will certainly score the objective. If orange survives to the end and gets in, it'll be K2 and a Tauntaun against 2 ISF and a mortar. And I think that the points balance is still very much in favor of Luke, since the only full unit Luke has actually lost is red. And this is why it's important to finish off units and not attack them piecemeal, because you just get punished for it. So Iden moving in against the Tauns. The Tauns are still engaged with white ISF. Alright, so Iden is angling for some rebel troopers now. Man, I haven't heard Kamchatka since I played Risk. Hey JD, thank you for coming through with that sub. Awesome. Thanks very much. 5 months. Almost at the 6 months. I think your badge upgrades at 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, start at turn 5. It's looking kinda scary for the rebels. Pulse scan coming out for Iden Versio. This pulse scan almost certainly aimed at these purple Tauntauns once they try to get away. Ambush is coming out, but for whom? Who will receive the token of honor? And DrHUGE in blue is going to have priority this turn. And it is certainly going to be purple. Okay, so what does purple do to avoid Iden's wrath and also score the objective? Purple can withdraw and shoot, but they can't do much else. In fact, I think you just order them and then leave it there for a little bit. Although Iden, a wounded Iden, does she have tenacity? No, she doesn't. So she won't get that extra red, but Iden is still kind of a beast with Dio accompanying her in melee. She can do some damage. The big trouble that I see is that Tauntauns are not going to get any dodges since they're tied up already. So they don't get the advantage of using their speed to get dodges anymore when they're tied up in melee. Okay, so this Tauntaun is just going for a flat attack against these ISF as the first action. This is always risky, but I appreciate what he's trying to do here. I think he might be trying to punch his way out and then dodge. This is a really tough decision, a really important decision too. Okay, attacking first does not go well. He might not kill anything, actually. Okay, he gets 2, but it's not enough to extricate him. He does kill a T-21. That's a higher than expected result for an attack like that against those ISFs. And they cannot withdraw, so they'll just take a dodge and stay in there. That is wild. Okay. So I think these Tauntauns are dead if a Special Forces comes early. Although Iden could just decide to walk in now. She has a strong pull with Dio accompanying her. She does have an aim from Pulse Scan. Or she'll peel around the corner here and just kill Rebel Troopers. That's the other option. She could just try to completely annihilate a Rebel Trooper squad with Pulse Scan, and that's definitely possible between her shooting and Dio. A Dio Incapacitate on 6 would also be disastrous. Is Luke running Incapacitate? Can we suss that out? Yeah, there is a chance he's running Incapacitate. So Incapacitate on 6 would be brutal. It would actually prevent a Rebel Trooper unit from scoring entirely. Okay, so Iden is going for the Sniper and Dio is going for the close Rebel Trooper. And they'll both have the benefit of Sharpshooter here. And Iden will just convert the crit and that Sniper will just die. So very nice. So Iden is going to like ace this ending here. And Dio shoots and has an aim token as well? No. It's just a hit there. No, is it 2? Okay, never mind. Oh yeah, because she moved and she has a free aim from Pulse Scan. So it's 2 saves for the Blue Rebels. And then Iden should just take a standby at the end of this Pulse Scan turn. And that would cause something else to waste an action. So Luke is just setting up a situation where DrHUGE just has to waste so many actions chopping through the standby and through everything else. Just doing everything he can to tar pit and stall and prevent the rebels from advancing on the deployment zone. No, so ID-10 shot a different unit. Yeah, that was also the commander, yeah. Yeah, so by killing that commander now, the panic range is severely reduced. Wait a minute. Okay, that's huge. Those rebel troopers, that commander dying there caused the rebel troopers to panic. So the rebels are running towards the board edge and away from the deployment zone. In fact, I think that curses them not to be able to score on 6. And then purple. And then with the panic, Iden spends her standby then to shoot purple. And she'll get 3 hits in her and Dio shoot again. Masterful play by Luke Cook here at the end here, but big save though, preventing the punishment, but Pierce is still gonna hurt. But Incapacitate should take care of this. And I don't think there's any way that that DrHUGE now can actually match the ending here, or match the number of units in his deployment zone. He's gonna have 3 to his own 2, but he needs to get a 3rd unit in there somehow. The Tauns will have to do it on 6 unless they're already in. If they're already in, then Orange needs to escape and he'll tie, but then again he's down on points, so he needs more than what Luke has. So he really needs to get R2 to kill this ISF somehow. The wheels are coming off a little bit for DrHUGE right at the end here. And actually, Luke gets to activate again because of the standby from Iden, and he gets to shoot purple and just try to wipe them out. Wow, it is just like a harvest over here. Iden pulse scan really effective because she was able to kind of move on top of rebel troopers. And those rebels are wiped out. So this rebel advance, they ran pell-mell into the teeth of the Imperial line, and they were dashed against the rocks by a very strategic play from Iden Versio. Yeah, that was a 7 out of 5 on the oof scale. I'm not sure I understand your question, Huntsman. Yeah, it was in range 1 of Iden for sure. Iden range 1 was pretty far. Right, and now Orange gets to activate. He needs to get away. He cannot dither. He has to get away. I think he would have liked to have taken a parting shot here at pink, but I don't think that was what's going to happen, or that is going to happen at all. And actually, oof, now losing that sniper, I realize now that this blue mortar might actually be able to get in as well. It's looking pretty rough. Hey there, Dash. Did you guys have a good stream? Who won that King of the Hill? Actually, you don't have to tell me who won. I want everybody to go watch that channel. Go watch the King of the Hill that they just finished up on 5th Trooper, on the 5th Trooper, and go to their their YouTube channel. Alright, so a little bit of hemming here with the Tauntaun. Just gonna try to tuck it this way and then move again. I think he really just needs to just go for the deployment zone. I guess they were suppressed, that's important. So he didn't have 2 actions there. So I think this was the correct play, just curling them around. Then he should be in range. They'll remove a suppression on the next turn, and then they'll have their both actions back, and they can get in and score. K2 needs to move up. Then he can also score, but I think that the tail really is that there are 4 Imperial units threatening to break in, and black is disengaging from R2 and 3PO. And if R2 and 3PO don't get pulled, here's the cool part. If R2 and 3PO don't get pulled and an ISF comes out, oh, they get pulled. Lucky. I was going to say that the ISF would re-engage and then prevent R2 from actually shooting this black ISF, but there is a turn to go. So do R2 and 3PO re-engage or do they shoot? No, they just shoot. In fact, they should calculate on themselves and shoot. Or you move in to get the extra dice. I think the aim is better. Yeah, they're going to aim shoot black and see if they can take him down. One there from the zapper. Nice, a full boat for R2 after that aim token. Let's see if he can take out this ISF. Oh, yes, there it is. So R2-D2 and 3PO are actually bodying some ISFs today. They've actually killed 2 ISF miniatures this game. Just really wild. It's actually another full unit. That's a full unit down. So R2-D2 pulling his weight today. Oh, sick. Vader Iden versus Grievous. That sounds like a fun game. I saw there was a tank briefly. Okay, this mortar on 1 wound now is going to run towards the rebel zone. Just try to get there. Pretty sure he can do it with 2 moves. Just move, and go around. Just go around the side. Yeah, move. He'll get in. Purple will get in. What a game. A lot is riding on whether R2 can kill something else, but even then, I think Luke might just have this one. It's not over till it's over, but I definitely would give the odds to Luke at this point. I think like 65-35 in favor for Luke at this juncture. K2 is like running down here trying to be effective on turn 6. Maybe seeing if you can kill off an additional unit leader on turn 6. The trouble here is that the only move for purple at the end, in all likelihood, is going to be to withdraw and shoot white to try to get rid of them. And probably re-engage with purple. K2 chooses the more discretion rather than aggression. The Mortar Commander coming out now for Luke Cook. K2 did lose Incognito. Yeah, he did shoot Iden that one time. He was able to successfully lose Incognito. I don't know how not seeing a way forward for DrHUGE. I mean, whatever he can get in there is probably just going to die because its save is so weak. Plus, you've also got this DF90 mortar now facing away with a standby token. I mean, Iden must look like a wall to these, you know, tiny Rebel Trooper units they're trying to get through. So will this be the final ride of the Tauntauns? Remember, both teams' tournament life is on the line here. DrHUGE has made a really great game of it. We saw an unorthodox Iden infiltration early on. Or, sorry, unorthodox Cassian infiltration early on. It was a really interesting setup. It baited a lot of the tack strike away, gave the Tauntauns breathing room. They did a lot of work. I think there were a few questionable decisions with engagement that may have caused the Taunts to take more wounds than they should have. But I gotta say, Luke Cook, the way he played Pulse Scan this game was phenomenal. Diving in with Iden Pulse Scan, splitting his attacks, using his aims for marksman to get crits through where they were needed, and then able to kill off the commander, cause the panic that triggered the standby from Pulse Scan and causing another shot and killing another activation. Just a really cool sequence. Okay, this move I did not expect. Luke Cook actually dips out. Oh, you know what happened here? I bet you that R2D2 used Distract on them, on Pink. And so Pink would have shot the Tauntaun, but instead decided had to end up shooting R2 and 3PO instead because of Distract. I'll have to ask in the post-mortem. But I think Distract had a lot of opportunities here to be used. I think there was at least one Distract that we missed. It's really hard to remember every single trigger. Like, I think it's virtually impossible to play a Legion game without forgetting something. Alright, and now Luke Cook with the mortar turning to try to suppress the Tauntaun. He will get that additional suppression on. Denying a second move to this Tauntaun 6 would absolutely seal the game. Another wound here, but 2 suppression is the really important part. I think that'll take that Tauntaun up to 4. Oh man, okay, so unless there's a really good rally that comes through, this Tauntaun is panicking off the board. On 4 it panics, on 3 it loses an action and doesn't score, on 2 it loses an action and doesn't score. So it would actually have to rally 3 out of 4 here to get an action back and score the objective. So I think, just on breakthrough, I think Luke will have it. But again, there is one last turn left. So it is, anything can happen. Alright, here we are at the beginning of the last turn. Luke Cook in the lead still. Three units potential to break through for Luke Cook. We have 3 as well for DrHUGE, but DrHUGE is down on points. There are several questions burning here. Can R2 and 3PO kill a mortar to prevent it from scoring? Can this Tauntaun rally enough suppression to even score the objective? Can K2 make himself relevant and kill something to decrease Luke's points lead? Can Purple do the same while also breaking through? Can any of these Rebel Troopers survive Iden and make it to the end zone? Incapacitate comes. We figured there would be a turn 6 Incapacitate from Iden, and there it is. And she is going to just shut off these Rebel Troopers and say, no, you cannot score. This is exactly how you should play Incapacitate. This is just the baller play right here. In fact, if Iden could move and shoot off, or shoot down pink and then Incapacitate blue, that would just be really strong. But Luke goes to the stack first and goes for the mortar. Oh, this mortar just needs to run away from R2 as fast as possible. And off it goes. And R2 likely cannot catch it. Right, I mean, that is the alternative, Izzy. I guess R2 could engage any of those units and keep them from scoring. That is true. DrHUGE goes to the stack and gets orange. Possibly the most important rally roll of this whole game is orange rallying here. Needs to get two rally dice to hit here. That, or he could go with purple. Either way. It could be that going with purple is the correct call. Purple should certainly strive to kill off something. Whether it's this short leader or the ISF. I think you kill the ISF because it's worth more points. A lot of turn 6 takedowns here at the final moments. Crazy ending coming up here. Okay, he's going for orange. Big rally, big rally. Oh, it fails completely. So orange cannot score because of the failed rally. It will still get an action though. And that is probably just going to be turning and shooting. Yeah, turn shoot ISF is strong here. Though the ISFs do have their reliables. But I don't think there's anything else useful that he can do with that Tauntaun except for shoot pink. Okay, gets a double there. ISF do take a wound. Okay. So now a world exists where R2-D2 kills the ISF. There is a world that exists. He could kill the ISF, or he just ties him up in melee. Either way, it seems to work. He cannot both kill the ISF and tie up the mortar. That's just not possible. Another core token being pulled for Luke. Purple mortar now should likely just hightail it. Or they engage R2 in the deployment zone. That's also smart. Yep, very good for Luke. Engaging R2-D2 in the deployment zone to keep him from kicking other units out. Very smart move from Luke here. So DrHUGE confirming with me that yes, mortars can engage and start melee. They do have a melee weapon. If mortars did not have a melee weapon, they could not do that. Definitely, yeah. I agree with you, Izzy. It's been a crazy game. I think that the Rebels have always had a shot at winning. It was never like this game was anything but one-sided. I'll say that much. Given the number of minis that are off the board, the amount of damage that both sides have taken, it's been a close one. And here comes R2 or K2. And there really isn't much. I guess R2... Okay, there is a chance here R2 can withdraw from this melee into a different melee. I think that's what R2 should do. This actually doesn't stop R2 from engaging here. He just withdraws from one melee into another. I know I said earlier that would have stopped him from stopping other units, but it doesn't really stop him from doing the withdraw into another melee. That's another, like, really edge case play that you can make at the end, the very last ditch. It is extremely Hail Mary. So he had the token to do it. Maybe he should have done that. I don't know. But he's going to go ahead and go with K2, who can probably get closer to something. Maybe he can get close to... Okay, maybe he doesn't want to bother. He just wants to make sure his capturing unit is safe. So K2 just pieces out. He's like, okay, fine. I'm out of here. Now Luke has another chance to pull an ISF and go in the deployment zone. I really thought that operative token he could disengage with R2 and re-engage. Oh, that is true. Then they just withdraw on their own. That's fair. Yeah, then they just withdraw themselves. Crap. Okay, yeah, it would only have mattered if they weren't in range to withdraw and enter. Okay, instead Mortar shoots Tauns, doesn't even deal suppression, and the action passes back to DrHUGE, who pulls his other... He pulls his other... Oh, but you know what he could do? Okay. Oh man, that would have been cool if he could do it. I thought he had a way to do it, but he doesn't. So yeah, withdrawing into another melee actually doesn't work because they just withdraw themselves. I guess he's going to try to punch the mortar to death after aiming. He needs 3 to even have a chance of doing that. Gets 3, okay. If this mortar dies, that's going to be hilarious. Oh, so close. Almost got him. I was so ready for R2 just to kill this mortar, man. The chance of doing 3 wounds, though, is pretty minuscule. Okay, so now ISF fail to rally. They wrap up in the same engagement. They also score the points. Ah, what a wild ending. Okay. Oh, and now Luke, or not Luke, but now DrHUGE gets his core out before they get incapacitated by Iden, so that's positive. But I don't know if they can even get in. Oh, no, don't wrap up Iden! I guess he's trying to wrap up Iden to save the Taun because he failed to rally. Okay, that's actually fine. He's keeping Iden from shooting the Tauntaun. Action is back to Luke now. Who pulls, let's see. Okay, yeah, he pulls purple. They're probably just going to move and shoot this Tauntaun. If I had to guess. Yeah, there they go. Two crits. Probably going to kill that second rider. Oh, wow. Maybe not. Another great save from DrHUGE. Holy crud, these white dice. Off the hook. Yeah, he couldn't double move due to suppression, unfortunately. Okay, the Tauns here rally. And what are they gonna do? They should probably kill a unit leader if they can. Yeah, move fully in and then just try to snipe off one of these units here, either the ISF or the shore. Probably the shore because that's more of a sure thing. Or maybe a shore thing, I don't know. Cringy dad jokes engage. Yeah, they'll move off and shoot that ISF leader. See if they can force a save here and get that 100 points off the table. There's 4. That might just do it. Yeah, there it goes. Getting that ISF off the table and coming around the side here. Try to just get away from as many things as possible. But again, it's still 3-2 in Luke's favor. And I don't see how that will change at the end here. So I am ready to say Luke has this. Without killing that mortar, it would not have gone to points. I mean, the pink sniper can still kill the mortar back here, but it would have to move to shoot. But I do think Luke will take the game at the end of this because it'll be 3-2 in most likely. And even if it does go to points, I still think that Luke is up. But again, we'll have to do the math there. But this sniper shot is very important. This could put it on 2-2 if it succeeds. But yeah, you can totally get there, and you might even have an open shot because of the bench not being high enough. We'll see what they decide. Yeah, the orange tawns really needed to make it in, and they did not make it in. Yeah, so he'll shoot the sniper bullet. Should be open shot. Gets the hit. That mortar should be dead. There it goes. So 2-2. It goes to points. And Iden can go and clean up another squad here, and that should put Luke over the top. Yeah, Iden will go clear out this rebel trooper. And then they'll have to total up the points. Iden using her normal melee here. Just gonna marksman another hit in melee. Do the rebels live? They do not. They get wiped out. Another 40 points for the champ. And with a sniper, R2D2, 2 Tauntauns, and K2 left, I can pretty confidently say Luke Cook will have this on points. What a game. Very, very close game, all told. Every play mattered. That was a quality game. Even if I didn't personally agree with some of the plays that were made by the Tauntauns, it was still a very quality game from DrHUGE and Luke Cook. Big thanks to them for allowing themselves to be streamed. They're still determining the end state here. They're going to count up the points. But with Luke Cook only having lost a shore squad and 2 ISFs and a mortar, I'm reasonably confident that he'll be ahead. So it might be closer than I think. Let's see what the players tell me about the point situation. Yeah, because this one Tauntaun and Cassian, actually it might be closer than I thought. 2 snipers like 80 something. All 3 rebel trooper squads were killed, so that's 120. That's like 200 change. This makes it 300. Cassian makes another 400. Yes, that's like not close to the ISF being destroyed. I think, just like as an estimate, I'm pretty sure Luke is ahead by like 80 to 100. Oh, whoops. Trying to figure out who killed what. Okay, yeah, so my estimate was right. It came down to about 97 points. No, not 97. 94 points, yeah.
Defense.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here with
Once I saw the defensive play with him, I was like, all right,
I'm here with Luke Cook and with DrHUGE. What's up, guys?
hey, what's up?
Yo, that ending was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know it was that close in points until I really was looking at it. But
Yeah, you don't expect it to be that close, but then you're like, oh yeah, only one set of tawns died. Oops.
right, yeah.
So that was wild. Like the ending there with R2 almost killing a mortar outright. Like if R2
that would have been beautiful.
if R2 had managed to kill that mortar, that would have been just a wild way to go. Like at the very end there.
Yeah, that was dangerously close.
Yeah, super close. But I mean, man, DrHUGE, you gotta feel really good about giving the world champ a game like this. I mean, it was tight. That play that you made with Cassian at the initial start, I was like, wow, this is wild. Like, I expected more defensive hiding, but I realized that it was kind of trying to bait Tag Strike away.
Well, the idea is in breakthrough. If I can get him to say and play with Cassian for a bunch of turns, a bunch of his units aren't going to score, which is what happened. So it made it just like a whole thing where he stays back to fight Cassian, and then after 3 turns, he's trying to figure out what to do, and I only let him score with 2 units, so it worked out.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was debating internally. Like, if I go focus on Cassian, then I'm going to be way behind on breakthrough and the objectives. So, yeah, definitely tough choices there.
There was like that. Sorry, go ahead.
I said I was hoping for one more turn at Cassian. That initial volley of hits where he just blanked out and took 4 wounds was a little bit rough, but other than that, I think it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, sweet. So like the what was I gonna say? Shoot, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so there was a moment there in turn 2 where it was like, okay, Luke could decide to fight Cassian, could also decide to just go full hog and charge the rebel deployment zone.
Yeah.
And I really thought that was like another alternative there, where it's sort of like, well, if the Tauns are gonna try to melee me anyway, I might as well just go ham and kill them, and just try to kill more of them. But it seemed to work out. There was one, what was it? There was one instance where I was thinking Red could have lived another turn, because there was this mortar that went early, and I was like, oh wow, he could just like shoot and then tie up with the mortar and stay alive another turn.
See, I didn't know that I could engage mortars. I was always under the assumption that I couldn't, so that's why I didn't do it.
In general, if it has a melee weapon, you can engage it.
All right.
In general.
Now I know.
It's the vehicles. There's some vehicles that have melee weapons where that's specifically not it's an engagement, or it's not an engagement, but it is a melee, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
There was also some really cool plays with distract as well. Like, I thought distract could have been used to shield orange a little bit. There was a moment.
It did. Well, he moved out with pink ISF to go shoot him after it already called out distract, so he moved. So then when you shoot the Tauns, I'm like, now you have to shoot R2 because he distracted you.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. You have to distract.
Yeah.
It's just, I wish there was like a token for distract. There is no token that I can think of. You just tell them. There is no distract token, if I'm not mistaken. It should be like a 3PO head or something. Pretty neat.
Yeah.
So,
and there's the timer.
Yeah, perfect. So really well done. It was a great game. We actually raised some money while you guys were
We're playing for prostate cancer research. We raised about 140, so we're doing pretty good.
Oh, nice.
We're almost
Sweet.
$100, or we're about $100 shy of the $500 goal. And actually, we passed our milestone for $1,000 lifetime raised. That is $1,000 total since we began to raise money for prostate cancer on the stream. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Partially thanks to you guys.
Well, yeah, you're the one who's doing all the work. We're just playing the game.
Oh, hey, it's mental effort. Trust me.
Yes.
Any final thoughts before I let you guys go and I let the stream go to bed because it's almost midnight Eastern?
Yeah. Great game.
Yeah.
Say, came down to the wire with the series too, so that was cool.
Yeah, it was a match point for both sides. Both tournament lives on the line. Ultimately, though, the Biths, the runners up from last season, are going to advance to the semis. Going to be playing, I believe, what is it now? I can't ever keep it straight. I think the Cantina band is playing 5280. So in that case, I think they're playing Relentless.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think we are playing Relentless because Ben was saying something about that.
Yeah, you guys are going to be going up against Relentless. That's going to be a great series too. All those games will be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, every single one. All right.
Yeah,
Dennis.
thanks for streaming, Endless.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And I'll see you guys around.
All right, see you later.
All right, well, with that, we're going to wrap up the stream. This has been another edition of Yavin Base. My name is Endless. Once again, thank you for everybody that donated to prostate cancer research. Thank you for JD Nielsen for subscribing. Thanks to everybody that also followed the stream. Our tournament, of course, sponsored by the 5th Trooper, Evergreen Benefit League, and 6up Supply. Check them out. 5thtrooper.com, 6upsupply.com. If you want to join a group of players who are chatting all about what's going on in this channel, you can join the Discord and the About panels below. And go ahead and check out our YouTube channel as well. And thank you, everybody. Once again, my name is Endless. I'll see you guys next time here on Yavin Base for the semifinals of Yavin Base Team League Season 4.